Okay, hi there guys, welcome again to our VB.NET tutorials. We are continuing with our library management system here, and last time we worked on the web user interface where we were able to request a book. So now what are we gonna do is work with borrowing information. Now this is where the student will actually receive a book. Of course, what have to be done is at the client side, I mean the Windows client side, the staff member will hand the book to the student and also will mark that this book is being borrowed by that student. It's as simple as that. Okay, so how could this be done? Well, first we will have to define a few things like the borrow information, okay, and borrow book object, and so on. So let's work on this. Define book borrow information. So you'll have to go to the DB design. What do we have? We have book queue, student information shelves. Okay, books table, right? And now, yeah. So what do we have? We have student ID. We have this books borrow history table. Maybe I should select a smaller name, shorter, not smaller, shorter name. So we have student ID, book ID, borrow date, return date, notes, and the status. So in this one, what are we gonna do? I'm gonna say book borrow. Okay, so it will be the books borrow or book borrow table. Okay, so what do we have? We have student ID, book ID, borrow date, return date, notes, and the status. So let's go to our Visual Studio. Let's open the database. Come on. Okay, and let's open the tables. And now we will add a new table. So add a new table. I'm gonna change the name. I'll use short name. So this is gonna be borrow. Sorry. So the fields: student ID, book ID. Let's have a look. Student ID. This is gonna be okay. Book ID. Okay. What also do we have? We have borrow date, return date, notes. Borrow date. Okay. Return date. What also do we have? Notes and the status. Notes and the status. Okay. Before I continue, let me just make sure what data type is being displayed here. So let's display the properties. Okay, this is the books table. Unvarchar. So we have unvarchar data type. Okay, that's good. So here this is gonna be an varchar. Control C, Control V, Control V, 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 V. Wonderful. Okay. So we have this one, no problem. Yes. And the primary key in this case, it should be the student ID and the book ID, these two columns. Total size of index file cannot exceed. Okay, no problem. Let's remove a 0 over here. Good, and let's remove a 0 from this one. Yeah, 100 will be more than enough, but anyway. Okay, right click and set primary key. Okay, so student ID, book ID, blah blah blah. Okay, and let's save that. And this is gonna be called borrow. Okay, so this is the borrow table. Wonderful, and it's done. I'm gonna close this, and to simplify things over here, let's go and where's the borrow table? Just open it. Okay, it's here. Now let's go and mark this development steps. Define book borrow info. This is the table. Done. Now we should work on the object itself, right? So let's go back to our project, save this, and let's go to the solution, and let's go to our library management system part, and let's put a new class. Okay, and this is going to be called borrow class. Enter. Wonderful. So in order to remember things, let me just go and yeah, so we have the old, the new. I'm just trying to remember the style I use so that I keep using the same style. Okay, so setters and getters, I suppose, and so on. Okay, very easy, very straightforward. So now private, we have what? Student ID as string, private book ID as string, private borrow date as string, private return date as string, and private notes as string, and private status as string. Same properties having the old prefix, old, 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 and old, and old. Okay, wonderful. So I have these. Now, what should we do? Next, we'll have to the setters. Okay, so public subset student ID, stid string. Okay, student ID equal stid. Okay, just check things here. Set. Okay, wonderful. So we finished student ID. Public subset book ID, bkid as a string. Okay, book ID equal bkid. Okay, public subset borrow date, br date as string, borrow date equal br date. Public subset return date rt date as a string. Okay, return date equal rt date. Wonderful. Anything else? What do we have? Notes, public subset notes nt as a string, and notes equal nt. One last thing, what do we have? We have status, public subset status st as string, and status equal st. Wonderful. So we finished the setters. Now let's work on the getters. Okay, public function get student ID as string, return me.student ID. Wonderful. And public function get book ID as string, return book ID. Public function get borrow date, string return borrow date, public function get return date, string return date, public function get notes, string return notes, public function get status, string return status. Wonderful. And yeah, so we finished the setters and getters, and now we should work on the insert into DB. Okay, so in order to keep the same theme or the same style exactly, I will just copy, use this simple technique. Yes, okay. Oops, sorry, my mistake. Copy that. Hopefully I won't make a mistake here. Okay, so now let's convert this code. Okay, so what do we have? So insert into borrow, right? Yes. So the fields are student ID. This is the first. We have book ID. This is the second. What do we have next? We have borrow date. Wonderful. What do we have next? Return date. And next we have what? Notes. And the last one is status. Okay, so how many parameters? 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 parameters. So you have, let's have a look, 1 2 3 4 5. This now there's a total of 6 parameters. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, that's good. And then we will execute the SQL. The first parameter is, we need to specify the order correctly. Student ID, wonderful. Next one is what? We have book ID. Next one should be borrow date. Next one should be what? Return date. Next one should be notes. Okay. Next one status. Good. And that's all. Wonderful. Done. Next, we need just to set the old equal to the new. So I will just write this manually. So me.old student ID equal me.student ID, me.old book ID equals me.book ID, me.what borrow date equal, oops, this is old borrow date, me.borrow date, me.old return date equal me.return date, and me.old notes equal me.notes, and me.what old status equal me.status. Status. Okay. Very easy, very straightforward. We set the borrow. What do we have to do? Also, we have to work on the load method. Now, the load method is a little bit different. Now, the primary key is the student ID and the book ID. Because of that, we need 2 parameters. So in this case, we will work on this one. So public function load what? Load borrow by student ID and book ID. Okay. Now there is an issue here. Okay. Okay, before I continue, one of the things that I didn't pay attention to is distinguishing old borrow information from the new one, right? So basically, when the student is trying to, well, you know what? Oh, That's easy. Okay, so continuing our tutorial. Okay, so there is here there's the problem is you can see there's student ID and book ID. So what this means is that the record of a student borrowing a book could not be repeated. Okay, now if you want to store the history information for each book for the borrowing, this table will not fit that because you will have duplicate records. Okay, a better technique would be to add another column which is the ID and so on. But in our case, we want to use, we won't store the history information, and instead we will just mark that this book is being borrowed, and that's it, the current borrower. But usually you want to store history information. Okay, so based on that, if we don't want to store history information, there is nothing wrong with this code or with this design. But if we want to use the same table to store history information, then no, we need to add an ID. Okay, so now let's go back to our load by student ID and book ID. So in this case, we have dbms as dbms class, and we have student ID as string, and what? Let me call this st. Wait a second. stid as string and bkid as string. Okay. And we have a try catch dbms.rollback and return false. Dimension as string equal dbms.create result set. And what do we have? We have select star from borrow where. What do we have? We have book ID equal at 0 and student ID equal at 1. Wonderful. And next we need to specify the book ID, PKID, STID. Wonderful. So if not dbms.it and checknet in the file, then dbms.close result set s, dbms.rollback and return false, which means there is no such record. Otherwise, if everything is fine, then what we have to do, we say student ID equal dbms.get column value as followed by student ID. Okay, wonderful. And then we have book ID equal dbms.get field get column value as followed by what? Book ID, and after that we have borrow date equal dbms.get field get column value as followed borrow date, and return date equal dbms get column value as return date. And after that, what do we have? We have notes dbms.get column value as notes, and status equal dbms get column value as status. Okay, we got all these. After getting these, we need to close dbms.close result set s, and now old book ID equal book ID, old borrow date equal borrow date. Wonderful. Old notes equal notes. Old return date equal the return date. Old status equals status. Okay, and old student ID equals student ID. Finally return true, which means the loading process was successful. Okay, I suppose this is what we need. Also, what do we need to do? We need to remove the record. So here public function remove from dbms as the ms class commit as boolean. Yay, boolean. As boolean. Okay, wonderful. Try, and we say dbms dot rollback return false. Right, this should be boolean. Sorry. Okay, dbms.execute seql delete from borrow where student id equal at 0 and a book id equal at 1, and me dot student id me dot book id. Okay, and then if commit, then dbms.commit, wait a second, and return true. Let me see the insert. Okay, the insert's fine. All's fine. Now we need to work on the test project. Let's go to test, set it as the startup project, and just test that. And double click on here. Bam, 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 bam. Go. Okay. So what do we have next? Okay, let's have a look here. This is test number 28. Okay, insert borrow information into DB. Okay, now I didn't create referential integrity test and stuff like that. Usually you want to create that, but anyway, right now I am in the lazy stage. I just want to finish the project. Okay, so I'll work on this right away. So dimension, what am I gonna say here? Dimension borrow obj as a new library management system borrow class, and borrow obj sets book ID. This is gonna be 1, 2, 3. This is the book ID. Let me say BKID. It will be stored like this in the database. Borrow obj set student ID stid. Wonderful. Borrow obj set what? Borrow date. Okay, let's say 2013. Okay, borrow obj set return date 2019. Okay, there's no such thing, but anyway, it's just a test. Borrow obj set notes why, whatever. Borrow obj set status not returned. Okay, whatever. Borrow obj dot what? Set student ID, blah blah blah. Okay, that's good. I think that will be enough, and then I will insert this one. So if borrow obj dot insert into db, it's called obj followed by false, then else. Okay, and since I'm lazy, I'll just copy and paste. Okay, put a note over here. Okay, so test 28 failed, can't insert borrow record. Okay, and this one success, inserting borrow record. Okay, this is the first test, so let us try it out. Okay, and click here. Okay, so this test worked. Okay, test 28. Let us continue now. So let us work on the loading process. 29. Load borrow information. So here again, Control C, Control V, borrow obj2, not borrow obj2 dot load by blah blah blah. Okay, So I need to say obj again followed by. Now I need to provide student ID. Student ID, it is stid, and this is going to be bkid. Next one, bkid. Wonderful. Then test 29 can't load borrow record. Loaded borrow record. Okay, and let us test it and go. Oh, can't load the borrow record. There's an error here. So let's see what did we do wrong. Click over here and let's run this and click. There we go. And step into, step over, go. Okay, what do we have? We have book ID, stid, bkid, stid. Okay, so it wasn't able to finding the record here. Oh, wait a second. Okay, let me make sure that the record was inserted successfully. Right? Go over here, click again. Now this is the insertion process. Insert into blah 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 blah. Student ID, stid, book ID 138. Book ID 138. This is why it doesn't find it. Okay. Okay, and why the book ID is 138? Let's go up here. Step into. Okay, so now this is bkid, no problem. Student ID. Oh gosh. Okay, just fix that. There was a statement here that was causing the error. Okay, it was generating a different ID, blah 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 blah. Okay, so now let us continue running, and yeah. Okay, so now it is fixed. I've just fixed it. Okay, so the last test we need right now is removing the borrow information. Control C, Control V. Now we have test 30. Remove borrow information. Okay. Remove from DB. False, of course. Then what? Can't remove borrow record. Succeed, removed borrow record. Okay, and save that and run and click over here. Yes, all working, and now we are ready to go to the next stage. Yeah, save that, go to Excel, mark this one here. Wonderful. And now this is what needs to be done. Add a new borrow information. Okay, wait a second. Add a new borrow information. We already did that. Load borrow object, also we did that. And now we should display borrow information. Okay, so right now, so let us continue our work here. And what we need to do is displaying the borrow information. Now the borrow information need to be displayed at two locations. The first part, or the first location, is, well, at the staff user interface, and the second one is at the web user interface. Okay, I didn't specify where to display that, but let us say I think I'll focus first on the web, okay, because it's kind of easier in a way. So let's go to the web. Okay, we worked on that last time. Okay, now what do we have? We have the workspace. There is the workspace. Okay, so now the books I have, it's here. Let's go to the controls, and in the data we will drag and drop a grid view over here. Wonderful. Auto format that, select colorful, press OK, and we will choose a new data source, DSDI2. Okay, it's going to be database. It's going to be DSDID2. Okay, this is the second one. And press OK. We will use the same connection string over here. Press next. And come on. Okay, we will display the book title, author, publication year, press, subject, shelf, and barcode. Okay, we have these, and we will say next, and we will test the query for now. Come on, good, wonderful, and I will say finish over here. Come on. Okay, that's great. And next we will edit the columns, and we will remove some of these. Okay, make them easier to work with, or actually not easier to work with, but rather the column names, make them easier to understand. Okay, so we finished this one, but we still have to do some work. Now again, as the same case that happened with the previous one, if you remember in the previous tutorial, we have to put some conditions, is happening here. We are displaying all the values. In this case, we will also need to modify the SQL here. So we'll go to the properties, and the select query will click here and change this a little bit and add where part. Sorry, where. What do we have? We have book ID in select book ID from borrow, where student ID equal at st. Almost this, I think almost the same. The only difference is the table name. Okay, and we will add the parameter. This is going to be st, and the parameter source is from the session. The field is student ID. Okay, and we will say OK here, no problem. And let us test that and make sure it works. Let's go to the web. Oh, I already made it a startup project, and let us try it out. Come on. Okay, so we have Todd123 and login. Okay, nothing is being displayed. Let us put a table and a book. Okay, so let us stop this. Come on. Okay, so what do we have? We have let me see the list of books we have. Okay, that's good. And let's see the list of students we have. And let's see this one, table data. So for Todd, the student ID is 25. So student ID is 25. Wonderful. And the book ID, wait a second. Where is the book ID? Books. These are books. So let's go to ABC. Control C. This one, the book title is LOL. Lul. Okay, so this is it. The borrow date 2013 10/18. Okay. Return date not specified, not specified. Okay, borrowed, whatever the status is. Okay, and let's save that. And now let's run this and let's see if we get some value displayed here. And let's see Todd 123. And as you can see, well, our friend here is trying to borrow 2 books. And he already have one of these books. Actually, when you want to borrow, what you need to do is remove the entry from here and just borrow it here. That's as simple as that. Okay, so we finished this thing over here, and now let's go to the part where the student receives a book at the library. So I finished one of the interfaces. Now we need to work on the other one. Okay, let's close these guys. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, and let us assume for simplicity. No need. Well, whatever. Okay. So let us go to the Windows Client project, set it as a starter project. Let us have a look. Okay, this is the main window. So shelf, book, edit, remove, student. Okay. So now we need to provide a means for the student to borrow one of the books. Okay. So now the way we are gonna do this is very simple. The student will select, the staff member would select a book, and he will have a command to deliver that book to the student, if that makes sense. So basically, data entry, this data entry part, the staff member will go to the books, he will enter the book and search for it, and there will be a command available for him. So let's see the book, remove book, and yeah, actually it's not safe to put the remove and edit book here, but I will add another command here, deliver to student. Okay, so the book could be delivered to the student here. Okay, wonderful. Now what needs to be done at this part is identify the book, identify who wants to borrow that book. Okay, and then you know, delivering the book. Okay, so we will need to create a user interface displaying the book details and also the list of students who want to or waiting for that book. Okay, so let me save this first. Good. And let me have a look here. I will add a new user interface, Windows Form, and Windows Forms. I will use a dialog here. Deliver. Oh, wait a minute. Deliver book to student. Okay, and I will say add. Come on. Wonderful. So where is add book form? Where is edit book? I want to see edit book form. Okay, so we have blah blah blah. Okay, all these details I'm gonna copy, and I will say copy over here, and I will say paste over here, and Control Z, make it a little bit bigger, Control V. Nice. Put it over here. Good. And this, all should be read only, because we don't want anyone to modify these values at all. As for this one, this will be also copy and paste. This is also read only. Wonderful. So we finished the first part, and since we want to display two groups of information or two types of data, it will be wise to use a group box here to make the person or the staff member understand what he's doing, or what the information belongs to whom. So here this will be what? This will be properties, book information. Wonderful. And it will be something like this. It will be something, okay, this big. And drag and drop. Wonderful. Okay. Click on this one. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure if this is okay. Wonder what the problem is in here. Okay, maybe it just needs to be refreshed or something. Yeah, sometimes Visual Basic have some issues. Okay, so I will save this. I will close it. Okay, I will close this other one, and where is D deliver book to student. What's wrong in here with this one? Yeah, this is what I hate about these controls. Sometimes they don't behave as expected. So put them back in. I didn't do anything. Almost didn't do anything. And okay, I think I need to change the Z order or something like that. Let's go to properties. This is a pain. I'll waste time just organizing the user interface. Okay. Where's the order? Where's the order? And VP6 there was Z order. This one is. Come on. Okay. Okay, there we go. Bring to front. Bring to front. And the bring to front and the bring to front. Okay, now it's being displayed correctly. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so I've finished this one, and the next thing we need to do is display the students or the list of students who want to borrow this book. Okay, and to do that, just move this a little bit. Move this a little bit. Make this a little bigger. And we will need another group box. And here, let's go to the properties. Q. There's a list of students who want to borrow this book. Wonderful. Go. Okay. And now we will need a data grid view to display the information. And let's go here. This is data grid view, so I'll copy this control and click here and paste. Nicely done, and we will dock it. And now dock and parent container. Okay, and change the name into DGV. Okay, next we will do what? We will do what? Move this. Oh, I think it will move up right away. Yes. Okay. And now one last thing. Start application for this window should be center screen. Good. Okay. And we will save this one. Okay, so what we need to do now is, as soon as this window loads, we need to display the book information. So okay, so what I was saying is that we will need to load the book information to display it here and display the queue for that specific book. Okay, so that we could select the student from here and deliver the book to that student. Okay, so okay, what should be done here is bam bam. Okay, first thing we need to specify here public book ID as string. Okay, so what happens in the load event? So first load the book object dimension book obj as a new. Oh well, just a second, why waste time when I could just say edit book form? This is the edit book form. I could just, you know, okay, copy this one from here and let's go to this one. Just wait a second. So book obj as library management system book class. Okay, so there's what text box 1 dot text equal book obj dot get shelf number, right? Okay, so this one will display the shelf information. What is missing now is displaying the queue, okay, in the data grid view. So to do that, let's go to the queue. Where's our queue class? What are the methods in the queue class? Okay, this is the queue class. What are the methods? We have get, book, get, insert. Okay, so we need something to display the results in the data grid view. So there's the book class. I will just copy some of the code because I'm a lazy person. Full DG view with book information. I will just copy this method and then I will modify it. Okay, let's go to the queue class. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, there we go. So full DGV with what? Queue information. Okay, and we have here. I hope you don't hear the noise. But what can I do? Anyway, DBMS as what? After the database management system, we have book ID as string. Okay, so select star from queue. Well, what we need to display is okay, student name, student ident, okay, and what do we have also? We have to, yeah, from queue and students where queue dot student ID equal students dot student ID, right? This is the condition. Order by what? Order by booking order. Okay, and yeah, so we have what? We have student name, and we have what? student ident. We have these two guys. I will add student ID. Student ID. Wonderful. Okay, here what we have? We have student ID. Okay. Student name. Identification. Okay, so I'll stop this for a second. Okay, so continuing. Now, after finishing this one, well, actually, we need to add here students dot, and this is student. I don't think we need this one. Okay, student identification, blah blah blah, and order by booking order. Okay, and this should do it. Okay, so now we have this method. Let's save that, and let's go to this one. If not, what do we have? Library management system, Q class, full. This one. What do we have? We have data grid view followed by main window dot dbms and the book ID. So book obj dot book ID, get book ID. Yeah. So if this one didn't work, okay, MSG box error while getting Q information. Oops, information. And the critical or okay, and error me.dialog result equal cancel x sub. Okay, otherwise everything will work perfectly fine. Blah blah blah. Okay, so we need to pull the book obj from here. Save that. Now let's close this, close this, close this, close this. Deliver main window book. Deliver to students. Right. So this is called what? Before continuing, properties. This is data grid view 3. Okay. So book. Okay, so if data grid view 3 dot selected rows dot count equals 0, then exit sub. Okay, the dimension book ID as string equal dgv3 selected rows of 0 dot cells of book ID dot value. Now we will need to load the book information dimension book obj as a new library management system book class. If not, book obj dot load from dbms followed by book ID, then msg box can't load book critical or okay error exit sub. Anyways, else if everything goes well, dimension tmp as a new deliver book to student tmp dot book obj equal book obj, the book obj we just created, and tmp dot show dialog. Okay, we will continue this later on, but for now let's save and let's change this one. Now this one will be running. Let's go to the staff members and see whom is working as a staff member. Okay, so we have also Todd, and 1, 2, 3. There's a student called Todd and there's an employer called Todd. Why I'm using Todd, I don't know. Okay, Todd 1, 2, 3, go. And the books, there's the book, and what? Deliver to student. Okay, and for some reason it seems that okay, so Todd have this book twice. Let's select the second one. Okay, Todd is still here. Okay, there's some kind of error, I suppose. Okay, so let me see the queue. Let's have a look at the queue over here. Staff, there's the queue. Table data. Oh, I didn't create the correct filter. Let's go to the queue class. I figured out what the error is. Let's go to the library again. Let's go to the queue class and let's go to the filter. There's an error in the SQL statement here. So we are creating a join over here, but we didn't use the here and book ID equal at 0, and the book ID should be what? Book ID. That's it, and now we will run this project again. Todd 1 2 3 go, and there's the book and delivered to student. You see that Todd want to borrow this book, and the second one deliver also Todd. Okay, let us check the database just to make sure. Where is the queue? There's the queue, show table data, and yeah, there's something. Okay, so Todd want to borrow both books, so we will let me see the rest of students. Show table data. Come on. Okay, so there's Michael. His number is okay. This is gonna be Michael and Todd. Okay, so save that. And Todd 1 2 3 go. Books. Deliver student. This is Michael. Okay, Michael want to borrow this book. Let's go to the second one. And as you can see here, this one is requested by Todd. Good. So we finished the user interface. Okay, let me save this. Let me update. Yeah, this one I would say we finished half of the work because we need to store or perform the transaction that delivered the book to the student. Well, you know what? Let me finish this right now. Okay. So what should happen? Now we will create a method that will perform the borrowing of the book. Okay. Okay. So where should I put this one? I think I'll put that in the borrow class. Okay. Bam 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 bam. Okay. So public shared function perform borrow dbms as dbms class, and we have what? Student ID as string, and after the student ID, what do we have? We have student ID and we have book ID as string and commit as boolean It's gonna be boolean. Wonderful. And enter. Okay. Now we put try catch dbms.rollback and return false just in case. Now what should happen here? First thing we want to do is to perform a lock. So dbms.execute well. This will be lock lock table books in exclusive mode. There's no A over here. And what this is gonna do, it's gonna lock this table, so we can't manipulate any, others cannot manipulate anything. This is the first thing to do. Second, we need to remove all the entry of waiting for that specific student. So dbms.execute SQL, delete from queue where student ID equal at 0 and book ID equal at 1. Okay, student ID, book ID, just have a look here. Okay, so all this is still one step. Next is to insert the borrow information. Okay, so here I think yeah, so dimension borrow obj as a new borrow class, borrow obj set. Oh, not book class, this is borrow class. Yes, so now set book ID, this is gonna be book ID, borrow obj set borrow date. Now this should be what? Format, now the style 1234 DD. Okay, okay, borrow obj set notes, borrow obj set what? Return date. Okay, so for the return date we will put some kind of a rule. At days you could borrow a book for 7 days. Okay, so it will be something like this: borrow obj set status. Okay, and borrow obj set student ID. Okay, next, if not, borrow obj insert into dbms followed by false, then dbms.rollback and return false. Okay, so let me have a look here. We locked the table, we deleted the waiting here, we updated this one, and what should we do also? We have the number of available copies, if I'm not mistaken, right? Available copies is right here. So for that book, the number of available copies should be what? It should be decreased by 1, right? So now what could we do? We could say dbms.execute SQL update books set available copies equal, we have a look over here, Control C, Control V, available copies -1 because you are borrowing where book ID equal at 0, right? Book ID. Okay, so we finished all these things, and the next thing we should do is commit the changes. Right, so if commit, then dbms.commit and return true. It means everything went well. Okay, and let's save this one. Okay, this should do it. This should do it. We need to put a check over here. Okay, so dimension as a string equal dbms dot create results set. Okay, select star from books where uh, where book ID equal at 0 and available copies greater than 0, right? So this is gonna be book ID. That's it. If not dbms dot read and check another file as, then dbms dot close result set as dbms dot roll back and return false. This means that there's no available copies. So this, and the last section. Okay, so here, if no record is being found, this means that there is no available copies. Otherwise, dbms.close result set s, and we continue normally. Okay, so as you can see here, we log the table. Okay, and we hope that everything's fine. So we log the table, we check that there's an available copy, and then we remove the student from the waiting queue. We fill the borrow information, we insert the record into the database, we update the number of available copies for that specific book, and then we commit the changes if we want to perform a commit right now. And so we continue now and go to the user interface again, because we didn't add the method. Okay, there we go. So now we will have to double click this one. Okay, before we say the log result is okay, blah blah blah. So now if dgv.selectedrows.count equals 0, then exit sub. Otherwise, if all is fine, dimension student ID equal dgv selected rows of 0 dot cells of student ID dot value. So we get the student ID, we need to get the book ID, dimension book ID, a string equal book obj dot get book ID, and now we perform the insertion. So if not, what should we do here? If not library management system borrow class dot perform borrow. Okay, and now we need to say main window dot dbms followed by student ID followed by book ID followed by true, then MSG box error can't borrow book critical or okay only error. And then we would say exit sub. Otherwise everything will be fine. So let's save this one and go to the main window. We will need to update another thing over here. So deliver to student. So what happens? We would say here if this show dialog equals okay, then if the show dialog is fine, then we will have to refresh the display again, right? So full, wait a second, library management system, right? Books a class, right? Full DGV with book information, if I'm not mistaken, right? So we have what? DGV3 and dbms. Okay, hopefully if not this one, then MSG box error displaying book information critical or okay. Oops. Okay. Error and exit sub, and that's it. So let us save this now and let us run this. Have a look. Have a look. Have a look. Have a look. Dot 1 2 3. Good. Let's go to books. Deliver to student. This was requested by Michael, and we would say okay. and can't borrow the book. Let's see what's happening here. And where's this one? Okay, let's get this one here, and let us click OK. So step over, okay, and step into. So like lock table box in exclusive mode. Okay, and this is error here. Incorrect syntax near the keyword table. Okay. Was it lockbox? Can't remember. Gosh. Wait a second. Just create another click and blah 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 blah. And what's this one here? Incorrect thing. Okay. Okay. I will change this one. Okay, well, it will have the same effect. So I'm gonna say update box set book ID equal at 0, where book ID equal at 1. Book ID. Okay. So okay, click again. Yeah, step into. Okay, so now so this will have a lock on the record. Anyway, so now we will check the available number of copies. Hopefully we have enough number of copies. So we will delete the entry from the waiting queue, and now we will set the book ID, set the borrow information, the notes, the return date, the status, the student ID, and now we will insert that into. Just have a look into that. Okay, and all seems to be okay. And now we will insert the record, and we will update the available copies of that book, and then we will commit the changes and return true. And all seems to be working fine, and let's continue. Okay, so now the available copies is 2 instead of 3, as you can see here for this book. Okay, so the code now works, and we can borrow or the student can borrow the copy from the library, no problem. Okay, and also if we select the first one and we would say deliver to student, you see that no one now is waiting in the queue for this book because Michael already have a copy. And yeah, so this is it. I will mark this one. Yeah, I think next we will have to concern ourselves with returning the books. Yeah, so this is total progress. We'll save this. Well, you will find updated source code available on the website, so you could download it from there. And yeah, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Bye bye.